Hi everyone, this is the No Pill Man. And today I wanted to talk about how play has helped me with my dog training significantly. So, a while ago while I was working with my trainer, Larry Crone, I asked him if buying a video by Ivan Balabanov called Chase and Catch, if it would be productive, and he said it certainly wouldn't hurt, so I decided to buy it. And after I bought it, I got to work. And what I basically do is I take my dog on a 50-foot line out to a soccer field. I take a big orange ball, a chuck-it ball, and I throw it around and, see what I could do to get her to play while following the instructions of the video to the best of my ability. A problem I would run into is, whereas most dogs that are reactive, when you let them, when you give them freedom, like in the form of a 50-foot line, or sometimes even off leash, although I wouldn't recommend that, a lot of the times, things that they normally explode at, they don't bother with, or they're a lot less intense about it. But with her, even with the long line on, she would literally run and hit the end of the long line, trying to get to other dogs and people and bikes, cars, so forth. So I messaged my trainer this, and I'm like, what do I do? And he's like, that is not normal behavior. So what we decided to do was we decided to take the e-collar, and the next time she did that, tried to run to the other end of the long line to get to someone, I said no, and I nailed her on an aversive level, 50. And after that, she never did it again. She would still direct arousal and intensity towards the bikes, but it wasn't to the point where she was running to the end of a long line, trying to get to them. So, after she was done with that bullshit, I could resume with play. And that's what I did. For about a couple months, we would go to that field, and we would throw the ball. And she got to be so into the game where eventually I was able to drop the line, like just have the line dragging on the ground and let her play. And eventually we moved to a 100-foot line once I could trust her even more. And then I dropped that line, and then eventually I just got rid of the leash or the line completely, because she was so into the game that I would be able to call her off of anything to instead participate and play. And the impact that work has had on my dog is, we just went to a dog park where there's a shitload of dogs, and I had her off leash, so she wasn't inside the dog park, because taking any dog, let alone a reactive dog, to a dog park is a big no-no. But what I did was, I took the orange ball and I chucked it around, and my dog was off leash, and she cared a little bit about the other dogs. She let out a little bit of mini, when dogs like, but I just told her immediately, hey, knock that shit off. I didn't really correct her or anything. It's just a little tap on the leash. Just tell her, hey, don't do that. And she stopped. And for the rest of the time, we just played. And she did really well. And compared to where she was when we started with the play, she has come a long way. People don't understand how significant it is to be able to have a dog play in front of things that they used to explode at. most of the time it's pretty easy to just crush unwanted behaviors and have a dog that shakes and shits themselves in front of things that they used to explode at. Um, Not saying there's no place for it, but it's not that challenging. But what really is significant is when you can get your dog to enthusiastically play in front of said things that they used to explode at. And what that's going to do over time, as I do that more and more, is that's going to basically rewire her. If every time there's a shitload of other dogs in relatively close proximity being a relative term, and every time that happens, I pull out an orange ball and we start playing because she loves that fucking ball. What that's going to do is that's going to change her association with the dog, with the other dogs. So instead of her associating with it with whatever calamities she used to, she's going to associate it with something she loves, which is play. And that, that is how you truly change a mindset of a dog, by getting them to play in front of things that they explode at. One trainer that I follow, like, fuck, he'll correct the unwanted behaviors quite severely. This isn't Larry, this is another trainer. But once he finishes correcting the unwanted behaviors, he'll start trying to get the dog to play in front of things that they used to explode at. Again, this is so the dog becomes neutralized to things they used to explode at. And I'm just overall very happy with what we've been able to achieve. And I hope things keep getting better, because I want to be able to take this dog off leash anywhere reliably and safely. I've already gotten her to the point where she can walk around off leash in my neighborhood, and if other dogs start barking at her, going ballistic, she'll be stressed out by it, but she won't charge them or anything, which is good. I can call her off of any dog. I can call her off of a porcupine. I can call her off of a deer. And that really is the power of proper shock collar training. You don't have to worry, assuming you haven't played the incrementalism game and made your dog more resilient to the shock over time. You can have your dog off leash reliably around pretty much anything, assuming you're doing the training properly. And that's been very beneficial with her. What people don't understand about shock collars is if you do the training properly and you teach the dog how to escape it and how to avoid it, then it'll be very rare that you actually have to use it. Because once you clearly communicate to the dog in a predictable and fair manner that, hey, recalls aren't optional, dog learns very quickly. The dog very quickly stops blowing you off. And like I said, it's very rare that you'll have to use it. If you're having to use it often, on aversive levels, assuming you're not just using low-level shit for obedience, then you fucked up in the training. It's either you did the training wrong, or the dog isn't crazy enough about you. And that's a mistake that people make with shock collars. They think, oh, I've done the training, the dog knows how to escape and avoid it, now I can let the dog off leash. Part of any dog training should be to make the dog as crazy about you as possible. And of course, the best way to do it is through play. And yeah, dog training is the totality of everything. You know, people see me with a prong and shock collar on my dog and they think that that's all I did. I just, nailed my dog whenever my dog did what I didn't want, did something that I didn't like. And that is an overly simplistic and reductionist way to view what I've done. I've done a lot of things, and it's the totality of everything that has gotten me to this point. And it's gotten me to the point where I have a dog that I can actually live with and do things with, and I can do something like go to a park, let her off leash, and play. And she won't bother with anything around her. And if she becomes interested in something, I'll just call her, and then we'll redirect her into play. And that to me is a big thing. The vast majority of trainers, especially on the force-free side, can't do anything. Can't do anything. Like they cannot improve the quality of life of both their dog and the owner in a substantial way in a reasonable period of time. And considering the vast majority, especially on the force-free side, can't do that, then they shouldn't be charging people, as I've said before. But those are just my thoughts. Have a nice day.